Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today there are some screaming kids outside, in case you can hear that. It's actually really loud. Anyway, just in case you were concerned about the welfare of the kids in the background, there is a school by my house, so that is what you're hearing right now. But today I am here to chat you through my current skincare and makeup routine. I've been getting a lot of comments lately on my skin and how good it's looking, which is the best compliment to receive ever. And obviously, as I planned out this video, some brand new spots emerged on my face. But what's new? It's an absolutely gorgeous day outside. I'm hoping that the sun is going to stick around for the rest of this video. I thought I'd chat you through everything I'm currently doing in my skincare and makeup routine. So I have already cleansed my face. This is just with the CeraVe cleanser. This is the hydrating cleanser because I am a dry girl and I really do love this one. I actually was using the Bioma milky cleanser for a while and I loved that one as well. I actually think I might go back to that one. Honestly, I've just been using this because I ran out of the Bioma one. But I love them both equally. I feel like this one just is a safe bet. It's not going to break you out or do anything crazy. And I usually double cleanse my face at night just to remove everything. In the morning I'll just go in with a muslin cloth and wash my face, and then I'll go in with this Bioma brightening toner. I actually really notice a difference when I use this toner on my skin. I feel like it does what it says on the tin and just adds a really nice glowy level to the base of your makeup. Once I've applied that to my face and neck, I then go in with this Nip and Fab hyaluronic acid serum. You know what I'm trying to say. This was actually such a random find, but I found that it just tends to agree with my skin really well. It gives a really plump look whether you're wearing makeup on top or not, and really does hydrate the skin, so would highly recommend this. I usually use 2 pumps of this and then just apply it once that toner has completely dried down. And it really does feel quite thick going onto the skin, but honestly my skin kind of needs that. And it dries down really quickly and then kind of becomes like a tacky kind of feel on your face, which I actually think works really well as a little bit of a primer. So just as I'm waiting for that to dry down on the skin, I then go in with this Laneige lip sleeping mask. And the girlies on TikTok were not lying about this one. I really did not think this would make a massive difference, but now feel like I can't live without it. This is the berry fruit kind of flavour, really thick consistency, and it's kind of like Vaseline to be honest, but I absolutely love this for day and for night. I think it's improved my lip texture so much. I usually go in with quite a generous amount of this just because I feel like it's going to dry down as I do my makeup, and it's a really good base for any lip products that I might want to use as well. So next up, the current products I'm using on my face for during the day is this Bioma Moisturising Gel Cream. It looks like this, the perfect daily moisturiser for me because it's still super moisturising but doesn't feel heavy on the skin. And I actually just go ahead and mix that in with the Drunk Elephant De-Bronzy and Anti-Pollution Sunshine Drops. That is a mouthful. I've had this for ages and honestly it still feels full. Like, I use the tiniest amount of this when I mix them together, but again it just adds a really nice glowy foundation for my makeup, and I feel like all of these little glowy steps together actually make a massive difference when it comes to the finished product. So I usually use around 2 pumps of this, and then I'm just going to mix it in with the tiniest amount of this. And I just mix this in on the back of my hand and it goes this shade, which always makes me panic because it's way darker than my face, but it works itself out in the end. It's a trust the process kind of moment. I just dot this all over my face and then gently rub it in. Also make sure just to take it down my neck. We are losing the sun already, I can sense it, but we'll crack on. Then I just like to set my brows and I just use the Glossier Boy Brow in, this is just like the clear transparent shade. I am kind of nearing the end of this now. It hasn't actually lasted me that long, but I do love it. I use it literally every day, and I just like to run this through all of the hairs and point them upwards, and then just go back round and tidy them up a little bit. I am in my full brow era again. I went a bit thinner for a while and honestly really enjoyed it. I feel like that might be more of summer vibe. I actually do think I could do with tidying my brows up, but who's got the time? I then go in with my base, which is just this Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter, and I tend to stick to the middle of my face with this. These breakout situations have literally just appeared since I decided to do this video, so please ignore those. So I'm just going to use a brush and just dab that into the skin exactly where I've put it. The reason I do this is because I want it to stick to the areas that I actually have put it in. I don't really want to be smudging it around into different areas. The main reason I use this product is just for a little bit of coverage, and then also mainly for the glow. Mentioned it a gazillion times, but I do love a glow. Then I will just go back around and essentially blur this into the borders of my face, especially if I've got my hair back like I have today, like the little egg that I am. I want to just make sure that there are absolutely no lines, zero harsh vibes with this makeup. So as you can see, it's such a bright and glowy face level to this, and there are parts of my skin that almost look oily, but that's okay because we're a dry girl and it'll even itself out later. I then take this NARS Radiant Concealer. This is in the shade Light 2.5 Creme Brulee, and I actually just take a couple of brushes worth on the back of my hand, and I just take this little fluffy brush and prime it. So just dot all of the concealer into this and make sure it's evenly distributed in the brush. And then I want to cover up anything that I am not happy with. So I know that I've got this area down here which I've broken out in for no reason, by the way, and some other areas of redness, and then I'm going to tackle my under eyes last. And this is more of my true skin shade at the minute. I'm just applying it in the same way I did the foundation, just dabbing it into place. The Flawless filter that I have from Charlotte Tilbury is actually a little bit dark because your gal is pale. I've got the winter uglies right now. Just dotting this in any areas of redness that I might want to conceal. I have a mark across my nose which is really annoying, but it's just from my glasses. And I'm essentially just picking up product where I need to. I feel like I'm not getting the coverage that I want out of dabbing, and I'm dabbing super lightly on my face to avoid using too much product and then things caking up, because one thing we hate in this house, it is cakey makeup. I'm now going to tackle my under eyes, and they are a massive insecurity for me. I think genetically I have quite hollow under eyes anyway, and the tip that I've actually learned that works best for me is less is more, because I used to pile it on and it used to crease up so quickly throughout the day. And now I focus in on the middle of my under eye and then sweep outwards, and then with anything that's left go in this section here. And then I have a crease just under my eye, which I think everyone also has, and I don't let any product go above that because that is where it creases to shit. Focusing it way down here, which is way lower than I would have done a couple of years ago, I was gonna say. And I just build this up in layers so that it's kept super light. Again, I don't want it to look cakey. Less is just truly more with this. I also like to just dust a little bit of concealer where I'm gonna put my highlight too, because I think this just overall brightens the area, especially because it's a lighter shade for me right now. And you can really see the difference between the two. I think it makes such a massive difference and just lifts that area as well. It makes it look a little bit less hollow, which is the exact vibe that we're going for. With anything that's left on the back of my hand, I do just swirl this into the brush and then do one final sweep of any areas that I feel like need it, because by the time I've done my under eyes it's usually all settled down a little bit more. So next to contour my face and add a little bit of bronzy vibes, I go in with this Made by Mitchell liquid blush, and this is in the shade Laid. This is way too dark. I bought it from ASOS on a whim, but I do find it is quite good for contour when I use it extremely sparingly and when I use it with a brush. So exactly the same kind of concept as before. I'm just swiping a bit of that onto the back of my hand. That's honestly probably a bit too much. I barely need any of this product for my whole entire face. And then I go back in with the same brush I actually used for Charlotte Tilbury and just pick some of it up on the brush. And honestly, using brushes has absolutely changed the game when it comes to applying makeup for me. I think it gives you so much more of an airbrush look compared to just using your fingers, which is what I used to do, or even using a beauty blender. I think brushes just still have the best effect, personally. I think a lot of people go quite high with this to get that snatched look, but I actually think I've realised for my own face shape, instead of going like this, it's better for me to angle it more outwards. And I'm just going off the shape of my face. That's just something that I've learned. I'm much better off applying makeup for my face than just trying to follow beauty gurus' standardised advice. So I'm going to start it around here. And again, I start in the middle because I don't want any product build up near my ear, and then I also don't want to bring it too far down either. It can take quite a while to build up the layers of this because I feel like it dries down so fast, but I'd much rather do that than be in a position where I've got too much on my face, because this can look quite muddy, which I'm not a massive fan of this product, to be honest. I think I just got the wrong shade. I think it's all my fault. And then I always contour the back of my jaw as well, so straight down from the ear. Oh my god, my earring is going wild. And then along and underneath. And I'm going to go back and blur that out in just a little bit. But just carrying on with that shape, I also mimic that at the side of my eyes. So I actually figured out I want my face to look longer, so I need to contour the sides rather than the top, because that would squish it down. And I like to sweep a little bit of this over the lid as well, because I feel like it gives a really natural, like an eyeshadow look without wearing eyeshadow. You can see the difference between my two eyes. It smokes it out really subtly. And again, just when I'm using this product, making sure that it's all blended into my hairline. There are no harsh lines on my ears or down the side of my face. making it all really seamless by just blending it all in. And then finally, with whatever product is left on the brush, I just go under my nose and also down the bridge of my nose, like the tiniest amount. Next up for blush, I use the Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Storm, and I am really dying to try out some different shades of this. This one is nearly completely gone. But I've had it for about 2 years, I want to say, and again, you need the tiniest amount of this. Pop this on the back of the hand. Again, that is probably too much, to be honest. It's just so pigmented. I absolutely love it, but it definitely took me a while to figure out how to work with it. So exactly the same as all of my other products, I'm just taking it on the back of my hand, and now I'm using a fluffy brush to disperse this. And you know that it's good to go because it kind of gets this diffused look on the back of your hand. I feel like that's when it's at its best and it's ready. Really lightly work this in to where I want it to sit. As I said, this is so pigmented, so it's really important that you just take your time with it, because otherwise I found out you end up looking like a crazy blush lady, which is the vibe sometimes, but that is not what we're going for today. And I found this shade is actually the best in summer. We obviously are not in summer right now, but when you have a little bit of a tan, this shade is the perfect sun-kissed glow. And I'm just going to go in with the concealer brush that we used before and diffuse some of the lines between my concealer and that blush just around the eye area. Blend it out, and there's no kind of sudden lines. Next up, I take this Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Bronzer in the shade Medium, and I use this so sparingly because we do love the glow. However, this is a really mattifying powder, and I literally take the tiniest amount and just sweep this where we put contour, down the lower half of the face where we want a bit less shine, over the nose, a little bit on my forehead as well. Again, this is an ideal product for summer, and I would probably use way more, but we're just keeping it really light and airy for now. I then go in with my Laura Mercier loose powder. This is just translucent. Just give it a bit of a tap. Oh god, it's coming out everywhere. Anyway, again, I use the tiniest amount of this. I just want to basically cover any areas. So I just take it on one of these fluffy brushes and honestly usually just tap some off into the lid because I do not want much of this at all. As I said, I am a dry girl, so I don't really use too much setting powder, to be honest with you. And you can call me crazy, but I actually don't really touch my under eyes with powder. I know a lot of people kind of bake and stuff like that, but I just find it way too heavy for how I like to do my makeup. Try and pop this back in here without the powder going everywhere. I've also really been into not wearing any mascara. Crazy for me because I feel like my eyelashes are really light and are kind of non-existent without mascara, but I'm actually preferring my makeup way without it, so I'm just going to skip ahead to using this little highlight again from Charlotte Tilbury. This is their Pillow Talk highlight. I used to have this in a different shade. It was more of a highlight shade. This is way pinkier than a general highlight. How I feel like this works really well is it sits on top of your blush really nicely and adds to the glow. So I'm essentially just popping it on my cheekbones. I like to put a bit on my eyelid and then under the brow bone, on the very tip of my nose. And then this is literally the only product that I actually use my hands for. And then last but by no means least, I'm going to go in with a lip pencil. This is a really old one that is from number 7. It's their Stay Perfect lip pencil. It's actually so old I don't think it has a shade left on it, but it's this kind of screw down situation, and I've actually been preferring more of an orangey lip on me, but I've lost my favourite lip pencil, so we're not going to do that. Really lightly overline my lips and give myself a little bit more definition. I'm not really going to focus too much on the colour with this. I just want to make my lips look a little bit more full. I also went to see the new Bridget Jones last night, and I know it'll be old news by the time this happens, but oh my god, I genuinely cried all the way through. I've seen other people saying that they'd cried and I was like, it'll be sad because Darcy is dead. I was like, oh, we can deal with that, it's fine. I'm not going to spoil it or go too much into it, but turns out we cannot deal with it and we are not fine. So now I've applied that lip pencil, I'm just going to go in with this e.l.f. Glow Reviver lip oil. This was clear, but I have made it pink because I always use it on top of my lip product, and it's just really nice. I don't know how many times I've said glowy in this video. That is the finished look. This is like my go-to makeup at the moment and has been for a little while, and I really like it. I really like how light it is and how glowy it is. I will stop saying that now. I've got the routine down in 15 minutes now in the morning, so I think that is probably the key reason why we love it, to be honest. Thank you so much for watching this. Please let me know if you'd want to see more of these in the future, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. See you soon.